Remember a Pink Floyd song where they talked about living in a fishbowl? Do you remember that? And how the fishbowl, people would move back, the fish would go back and forth, the same path over and over and over. While I was doing my retreat, and I was in silence for 10 days, I started to examine the fishbowl I was living in. And I realized how confined the space in my mind that I was able to tap into, that I was creating from. I realized that what had happened was, and I think this happens as we get older, because as we get older, we start out fresh with no habits. But as we get older, we build more and more and more habits. And each of the habits that we build constrict. And so we get to a point in our life where we are, and if we become aware, we realize, wait a second, I'm not happy. I'm constricted. I don't feel good. I've got this, I've filled it with material things, a home and cars and woman. I didn't say women, you noticed that. I said woman. And all of a sudden you start to realize as you keep putting more of those things into the bucket, more of those things into the fishbowl gets what? Smaller. So instead of being able to go this far, now you can go this far. And then we keep adding more stuff until the point comes when we are literally suffocating ourselves. And then when we get to that point of suffocation, which is normally a time that we label as a dark night of the soul, it's when we've hit a bottom level in some aspect of our life that we finally say, what is the purpose of it all? Why am I here? And I hit that bottom, and I asked that question. And what came to me is something clearer than it ever has before. And that is the only reason you or I are here is to create an experience. Did you hear that? To create an experience. Notice I did not say the word recreate. Do you hear it? And there's a difference. Think of create and recreate. This means something new. This means recreate something old again and again and again and again. So when we think about our thought process, what happens? We have a habit of thought, don't we? And that habit of thought's running 24/7, nonstop in our subconscious mind. It is always going. This is the truth about psychology, philosophy, spirituality. Every one of these truths understands this. And that when we build these habits of thought, guess what? We're recreating. The question is, what are we recreating? Are we creating our own creation, or are we recreating others' creation? So I want to ask you this question. Do you know that there is an infinite wisdom and power within you? Do you know that? And then do you know that this power, this wisdom, can accomplish or overcome anything? It can accomplish and overcome anything. And it is based on the pattern of our thoughts. Even better, change that. It is based on the nature of our thoughts. So let's go back and let's re-examine that, because this is really a powerful thing. Just on this one statement, I contemplated this statement for days and days and days. And I reflected on the statement as I reevaluated every aspect of my life. Because when you're in silence and you're not doing the technique of meditation that I was doing, you have nothing to do but question. Or you could go off into fantasy land. No. If you think I didn't go off into fantasy land, you would be wrong. I have a very vivid imagination and I have fantasies. Fantasies are good as long as they're controlled. Well, that's a bad statement too. Is it along in alignment with your values? Fantasies are good. Anyway, April's just chilling back there, laughing away. I got myself caught in a loop and I can't get out of it. I know it. Go back to the statement. Do you know that there is an infinite wisdom and power within you? It goes back to what we talk about in the universal truth. We know there is something that we cannot define that we call infinite mind, pure spirit, divine intelligence, God. I'm going to start taking God out of my talks. Not God, but the word God, okay? Because I realize, as I came to realize, I still had ideas about a man or a being outside. So I want to get clearer as we start to explore that I want to take that out. I want to push aside that habit because we've identified our perceptions with the habit to that word. It's around us everywhere. So know that I am making a conscious choice to do that, and know that because it's a habit to use the word God, I will slip. And you can always go like this, and I'll know you caught me, okay? An infinite power and presence. So we know that there's this cosmos that we can see through our senses. We know that there are planets. We know that there are stars. We know there are galaxies and solar systems. We know that they're beyond anything we can imagine. And yet we know even on the planet that we live in, we've not even explored the depths of the ocean. We have no idea what's there. And then if we take that down even to a further idea, we have no idea of what all 100+ trillion cells in our own body are doing. Do you realize that every one of those cells that's a part of our body is consciousness expressing? And that individualization of consciousness has come to express collectively in this body as this skin, bone, organ, whatever, to allow a greater expression that it can have. So it is a part of the whole, but yet the whole is still a part of even more, and then it keeps going. You see, there's no limit to which way you go. So there is this infinite power and presence that is everywhere. It can't be that it's not. Because by definition, if it is infinite, it must be everywhere. It is everything. It is the seen, the unseen, the known, the unknown, the knowable, and the unknowable. It has always been. It has always will be. It cannot be where you are not. It's always where you are. So just breathe that in. Just close your eyes and just breathe in the idea that infinite wisdom and power is right. And now when you breathe that in, realize this is the same power that created everything. This is the power that created the entire cosmos. And you have this power available to you. This power that created the cosmos can surely bring a healing to a body. This power that created the cosmos can surely bring abundance into your life. This power that created the cosmos can certainly make you the receiver and beer of magnificent loving relationships. You notice I did not say attract anyone, because that's going outside again. You see, this is part of the illusion. This is what happens when you do 10 days of meditation. The illusion, all of the things that we built up around ourselves and we filled ourselves with, we need a partner to be whole. Our partner has to behave in this certain way for us to feel good. I must have this amount of wealth to do things. I must do this. I must do that. And then when you go into this silent retreat, you literally become a monk or a nun where everything is taken away from you. You have the clothes that you wear. You have your bed stuff. You have your meditation cushion, and that is it. And so your meals are provided because you're like a monk or a nun and you're like begging. The universe is giving. You have no material possessions whatsoever. You have nothing to cling on to. So in the nothingness of clinging on to nothing, you must reach out and know that there's nothing out there. So when I'm going into this dark night, when I'm going into this questioning, the only place left to go is where? Within. That's where it gets scary. And my wife will say, Lee, it's not scary. And I'm going to say to you, it felt scary. Because things will pop up that you've never really thought about. And you realize how dependent you are on someone, something, some idea, some job. And why you get freaked out about that, why you get depressed about that, because you truly know that's not your source. You've denied the infinite power and wisdom within you, and when you go to something else for that, the infinite power within you lets you know you are going in the wrong direction, so you're going to feel like crap. Here's the scariest part. When you're doing this work, for me, this is just my experience, and that's all it is. It's not your experience or anyone's. It's at night, in the middle of the night, when you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere, because you've got a little room 9 feet by 7 feet and a little hall with a little bathroom there, so it's maybe 9 feet by 16 feet, and so you got 9 feet, and part of it's this bunk bed, and there's this little step stool. There's no place to go, and you're in the dark. You got no iPod. You can't go to Facebook. Now, some people here are going to say, well, Lee, you posted daily thoughts on Facebook while you were in meditation. And I said, no, that was my son, Stephen. I had written the thoughts prior to going because I wanted to keep a consciousness flowing. You see, there's a momentum that we build in our thoughts. There's a momentum in what we do. And we must maintain that momentum to keep the consistency and pattern of thought. So remember, God is all there is. No, infinite power and wisdom is all there is. And that power and presence is in you. Now, it responds to us in the natural order of our thoughts. It is natural for us to be creative. It is natural for us to want more. It is natural to go on and want more. It's natural to create. You see, it's a continuous loop of creation. That's what life is. It's creation, 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 creation. Here's what happens, okay? The sect that I went to has a Buddhist base. And they talk about no desire. I don't buy into that. I think desire is great. I love desire. Attachment to the desire, that's not good. Attachment to anything keeps us locked in. Attachment keeps us in our fishbowl. Do you see that? Attachment keeps us from forming a new desire to create a new, which takes us away from our life purpose. You see, that's where attachment, I never got this before, that attachment stopped me from creating more. Not only does it stop you from creating more, but then when you're holding on to things, you're trying to control things. You're trying to control people. You can't control people. People are not here to make you happy. People are here to support and grow you and occasionally have fun with. I'm kidding. You can have fun all the time. Don't think that this is not a down talk. This idea that you can have fun all the time is a mental choice. It's a natural choice. When you are in the creative mode, are you not feeling good? When you are going towards something that your desire wants more than anything, do you not feel good? When you've got that desire fulfilled, what happens? You want something else. Why? Because it's your natural tendency to want to create more. You see, we go to one, we're done. Christmas presents gotten. Okay, what do I want next? Should be not what do I want next, but what do I want to create next? This was really the key that I started to imagine, and that's the word, imagine. I realized that we've allowed our imaginations to get numb. We have stopped using our imaginations. And so one of the prayers that I did for myself, I'm going to share with you a fascinating technique that I've come across, and I've been experimenting with it myself. And that is, we understand that we have a mind. And there's a conscious aspect to this mind and an unconscious aspect of this mind. The unconscious aspect of this mind represents better than 90% of it. It's the majority of our mind. This is where everything that we've ever experienced, ever felt, anything is all stored there. It's where infinite wisdom, and this is where the infinite presence is, in the subconscious mind. All the answers to anything you ever want are in this subconscious mind. Now that we have this conscious mind, and this conscious mind thinks. It thinks and it responds through our senses, through what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we feel. And it rationalizes, it intellectualizes all these things. You see, the subconscious doesn't do that. The subconscious just accepts what's impressed. Ooh, here's my great word. This was when I was having one of those fascinating fantasies. The conscious mind impregnates the subconscious. Think about that. It impregnates the subconscious. What does it impregnate it with? It impregnates it with a new pattern of thought. And when that new pattern of thought is impregnated into the subconscious and it is fed and it is nourished, how is it fed and nourished? It's fed and nourished by continually thinking as if it were already done, continuing to become the person that would have that, continuing to affirm it, continuing to be grateful for it, even though you can't see it. Now you're nurturing that impregnant seed. And that seed grows and grows and grows until it becomes a full-forced belief. Once it becomes this full-forced belief with emotion and conviction behind it, you will look and there will be the answer to your prayer. It'll be there in physical form, but you've already experienced it in your mind. That's the most important thing. Think about this idea. Picture, I'll go back to when I was much younger, and my son Stephen was 16. And we were going out, or 17, one of the years we were going out to buy a car, to get him his first used car. And we went looking for cars. When we were looking for cars, I guarantee you he was as happy as he could be in that moment. He didn't have the car, but he knew the car was coming. He was out checking out all the cars. He was looking for what car fit him right. What car could he put that elbow on and cruise with, you know? That was something, I watched him. He would do that. I want to cruise. He had that feeling. He was there. That's all he wanted. And then he got the car. Now the car didn't mean anything anymore. He wanted a babe to be next to him in the car. I don't know. I made that up. I would have said that about my other son, but he really wanted a man. So, you know, how can I know what's in my kids' hearts and minds? You can't. So it's about the impregnation and the realization. So when a woman, and this is where men don't get it, okay? When a woman is pregnant, she feels the baby. She feels the life force within her. Men are saying, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking? We don't get it until the little guy pops out or girl pops out and goes, wham! Then, oh shit, my life's changed. You see, we haven't been given a natural process. We've not been given a natural process to adapt to the demonstration of what we're having. Women are going through the natural process of prayer in birth. Do you get that? Because they're going from impregnation to nurturing, to growing, to becoming, to knowing, and then it comes out and says, oh, no surprise here. We tend, men and women, with our use of prayer or using the affirmative idea of our subconscious mind, we act like men. We don't impregnate. We don't nourish. We expect it now and we don't do nothing to change it. We've not done the work. You see, there's a natural process in this. The natural process is, you all familiar with the sequoia tree? Tree grow, it's incredible how big they are, thousands of feet high, bigger than any other living plant, anything on the planet, really. The sequoia tree starts out what? As an itty-bitty seed. And in that seed is all the infinite power and wisdom to make it become this magnificent thing we see today. Here's the thing, it's not stopped growing. It is still growing because that is its nature. Do you see, that seed is the same thing as an idea. The idea we have has all the power and the wisdom within it. It is up to us to take that idea, impregnate, plant that idea into the subconscious mind and nurture it and love it and caress it. And don't talk about it with anyone else who doesn't buy into your idea. Certainly don't talk to your parents. I'm just going to say this because parents got preconceived ideas of what you're going to be. I don't care how good you are. You got a preconceived idea of what you want for that child. So if I'm a kid and my son doesn't tell me what he wants to do now, damn him. No, he won't share it with me because he is, in his mind, believing there was a pattern of thought before where Dad would say, nah, that's not really an idea. So he's holding it in. And I, as his father, as his friend, as a fellow peer, I have to support that. I have to allow that because I'm allowing the creative process that I would want for myself. See, the work is always on ourselves. The work is always within. You're going to hear so much about this idea because I'm going to break this down week after week. And I'm going to take you through a different aspect of this that I've gotten at such a deep level. I did some incredible research, some incredible reading, where I've reread things 3, 4, 5, 6 times and then meditated on in that. And so I've got this where I can see that if I bring this to you in such a logical fashion, if you are ready, only if you are ready, and if you're willing to commit and you're willing to make a decision, you will be able to take it and you will be able to change your lives. But I'm going to give you one little nugget before I go into prayer. And that is, right now there's something in your life that you're seeking an answer to. I don't know what that is, but you do. You may be asking, what is my purpose to create? What is my life purpose? What am I here to create? What is it, how can I be more abundant? How can I express and experience more love? I don't care what it is, but there's something that's desiring in you to have an answer, right? So I'm going to ask you to trust me because you got nothing to lose. And just before you go to bed, when you lie down, you put your arms down, you get comfortable, you take a few deep breaths, and you just let your body start to melt into the bed. And you go, I know that the infinite intelligence within me will answer my question. I know that the infinite intelligence within me will answer my question. I promise you, your answer will come. It may not be that next morning, it will come. Because you've asked and you've turned it over to a power that can answer. Because the power is you. Let's pray. I want to thank you for joining us today. I am so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask you to go to our website. Once there, click on the Contribute button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to the world. I would also ask you to please share this message with anyone you feel might benefit. Again, I want to thank you for joining me and the Agape community as together we bring joy to life.